Welcome to the Life of Hair. My name is James Atkinson. Thank you for joining me in this episode. These videos have been highly requested recently, and this is on curly hair. Now, someone reached out to me a few weeks ago and said, James, I'd love to see you cut a shag on curly hair texture. Now, this is really curly, my sort of curl, in fact. No, this isn't my sister. Someone said that to me while I was cutting her hair. We're not related in any way. But it is a wicked haircut on curly hair. I absolutely love it, love it, love it. It's something that I offer to curly hair clients as a super alternative to having the limited options that sometimes people believe that curly hair provide. I think curly hair can be boundless, providing you're willing to embrace the texture. In this particular instance, it looks really, really retro in the final styling. I made it really quite curly, but you can soften it out and have a kind of looser, wavier texture to this particular look as well. It's really, really versatile, and I think in 2020 you're going to be seeing more and more people requesting shag haircuts. So it is one of those haircuts that is well worth investing that time, effort and energy into becoming really proficient at on the shop floor. So check this video out. I've got two other videos on the shag, and it is one of those haircuts that is versatile for any length of hair as well. So enjoy this. Subscribe if you haven't already. Smash that like button. It really, really helps the videos get out there so that other people can enjoy them too. And I'll see you again next week for another episode of The Life of Hair. The first thing that we need to do is split the hair down the centre. Then we're going to separate the front from the back, from the highest point of the head to the back of the ear. The highest point of the head is very important when separating the hair into two. Anything below the highest point will give you too much hair in the front, and anything behind the highest point will give you too much hair in the back. So be sure that you are going from the highest point. If you're not sure, place your comb flat onto the head when the head is in a neutral position, and where your comb touches down, that is the high point. Once you've done that, take a small triangular section from the front hairline. This will be your overall guide for the entire haircut, and it will be ultimately how long the fringe will be. So be assured when cutting curly hair, you cut it to allow for the curly hair to shrink. Once you've done that, take a 1 centimetre wide section that encompasses that front triangle. It is very important because this will be your guide section. Making sure the head is in a neutral position, elevate the hair straight up and cut a 45-degree line. Make sure the hair is coming out from the head 90 degrees and you are not over directing it left or right, as this will affect the overall balance of the haircut. Once you've cut that line, split it into two. This will give you two even guidelines, one on the left and one on the right. We're going to start on the right hand side because I am a right hander. I'm going to push the hair into the center. This over direction will ensure that we get an even balance in our shape and we do not lose the length from the front hairline. Using the guide that you cut in the middle, cut a 45-degree line with the over direction to the center. This third section will then also be over directed to the center line, and each subsequent section after this will be over directed to exactly the same place. A very, very easy and simple technique if you think about it. Comb the hair out at a 45-degree angle and making sure that you're following your guideline, cut a nice clean line that travels towards the ceiling. You will note as I come further down the head, the sections get larger because the hair gets thinner. We want to ensure that we have enough hair to cut, and the density of our sections are not wispy. Over directing this final section to that center line, you will not have a lot of hair to cut off if the hair is around shoulder length. If it is longer, however, you will probably have more hair to cut off. We are going to repeat this exact process on this left hand side. Now, we're making sure that we're over directing to that center line each time. You will note my body position has not moved from the right hand side of my client's head. This is because I am right-handed, and cutting up is always easier than cutting down. You will see that each section is still over directed to that center line, making sure that we protect all the weight on the exterior of the haircut. And this will also mean that we get a nice balanced shape at the end. Always check for balance and length symmetry once you have finished your sections, and cross-check where necessary. Once you've done this, take a 1 centimetre guide from those front sections that you have just cut and comb them into the back. This will give you a clear vision of where you are going next. Take a 1 centimetre section down the centre back, and the guideline that you've just combed out from the top section at the front will be clearly visible. Follow this section all the way down the centre back to ensure that you have got a great guide to start the back section with, just like you did in the front. Separate that section into 2 down the centre back, and then do exactly as you did before, taking a horizontal line, over directing it into the middle, making sure that you've got all your hair gathered nicely at the roots as well, and pushing it into the center. This over direction is super important, as it's exactly like it was in the front. On this left hand side, we're going to do exactly the same. We are going to remain on the right hand side for right handers and the left hand side for left handers, and we are going to pull the hair towards us. This is ensuring that our symmetry and balance of this shape is even throughout, and if you need to use the mirror to check or physically walk round to make sure you've got the hair exactly where you want it, you must do that. There is no shame in checking. Check twice, cut once. And here we have the finished result, an absolute beauty in my book, one of my absolute favourite looks of the moment. It is so vintage yet contemporary. This haircut has gone madly out of fashion, but is coming back with a vengeance. And it's a haircut, like I said in the intro, that is really, really important to have in your arsenal. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've taken something from it. Never be afraid of curly hair, guys. Big piece of advice, always club cut curly hair in my opinion. It doesn't need texturizing, you just create wispy texture. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this, then smash that subscribe button. If you haven't already, bash that thumbs up button. It really helps me with the videos, getting them out there to the World Wide Web so everybody else can enjoy them too. And I will see you again next week for another episode of Life of Hair.